This is George Dionne with Metal Express Radio. I'm here with Geoff Thorpe of Vicious Rumors. How you doing, Geoff?
Hey, George, doing great, man. Thanks so much for having me on your show.
Hey, no problem. I start off all my interviews with the same question. If I knew absolutely nothing about Vicious Rumors, how would you describe the band's music to me?
You know, if you put, like, classic rock, heavy metal, power metal, and some thrash metal in a blender, and then dropped it down the stairs, and maybe put it in a bag of pop culture overnight and a little bit of voodoo, and then you should have a Vicious Rumors album in the morning.
It's definitely the most interesting take on describing a band I've heard, so.
You know what? We're a bunch of fans, man.
Yeah.
We're fans of music and fans of heavy metal. So, it's kind of easy. It's funny. It's like a lot of people are like, God, how do you guys keep doing it year after year? And, you know, what's the motivation? And it's just, I think the simplest answer is just that we're fans. We love the action. We love the music. And, you know, it's just been a great adventure all these years. And we also, like, for me personally, and I think for the guys as well, it's just like so rewarding to like put so much work into something and then, you know, see such a great reaction around the world, and people as far as the other side of the planet are, you know about it and are excited about it. So it's just rewarding for us, and we love it. So as long as we can keep doing it on this high level, we'll keep doing it.
Speaking of high levels, let's talk about the new album, Celebration Decay. Very great album.
Right.
I have to say.
Thanks so much, man. Thank you.
It's my first Vicious Rumors album, actually. I'm ashamed to admit it.
Well, you're welcome. It's not too late. It's never too late to work 9 to 5.
Well, I'll tell you, I downloaded the whole back catalog too, so it certainly made an impression on me. The first question I had about it is this a concept album? Because the songs paint a pretty bleak vision of the world.
Well, it's not really so much of a set out to be a concept album, but it does have that dark theme. You know, hey, I mean, the fact is we're just living in a much darker world than even 20 years ago, or, you know, and definitely compared to when we first started out. So, the pandemic has really nothing to do with that. The Celebration Decay idea kind of came out of just, you know, the situation the world has put itself in a trend of just getting to darker and harder days, you know, there's humanity's decay. But the pandemic sure made it timely. You know, the music, when we were working on the music, it was coming out so, you know, there was all this aggression and power. And so I just really wanted to have, you know, the lyrics and that type of thing be just as powerful as the music. And yeah, it's not a pretty story, is it?
Let's talk about the first single that you put out, Death Eternal. What were you thinking when you were writing that one?
I just had this kind of, just kind of this real kind of marching kind of thing. You know, I'm a real fan of some, you know, real classic heavy metal with, you know, those Priest and Maiden are like my main staples. And I just love those, you know, classic metal feels. And so that one's kind of a tribute to that. Kind of felt like it had a little European feel to it also. And then, so I wasn't surprised that SPV really wanted to make that the first single. Wasn't my choice, but I, you know, really respect working with them. And I'm glad to see that people were so excited about Pulse of the Dead also when that came out. So, yeah, we got a lot of different sides to Vicious Rumors, a lot of aspects to our sound. So I'm hoping that our goal is to like take you on a ride with these records when you listen to them from beginning to end. And I'm an old school guy, you know, where the song is like the most important thing. And I still like listening to albums from beginning to end. So
that's a rarity today, listening to albums from beginning to end, but you guys certainly have one that you can do it with.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you know, attention spans have been depleted. You know, that's actually a line in Celebration Decay.
I mean, that Celebration Decay, the song, is pretty much everything that the way you described the band in the beginning, that's pretty much how you put together Celebration Day. You took all those genres, threw them in a bag down the stairs, and everything's in it. Everything you expect from what you play is in that one song.
Fantastic.
Are there any other songs that really stand out to you on the album?
Yes. I think Pulse of the Dead is a real heavy banger and has a great feel to it. Arrival of Desolation has got that classic kind of, that classic heavy metal gallop with kind of this, kind of catchy chorus, and even like Darkness Divine, which is such a different song on the record, but still somehow I think really fits on the album, right in the middle there, just as sort of like a transition into the second half of the album. So those are some of the highlights for me.
This is your first album with Nick Courtney on vocals and Gunnar DeGray on guitar. How did they get involved?
Oh, man. They were recommended to me. Gunnar was the first one that came in. And, really the guy I hired him at 18 years old.
Yeah.
And he's just this incredible young talent that, when his friends were fishing and playing sports, he was, at home working on an Yngwie solo or something. I mean, he's just an incredible player and a great guy. And then same with Nick, we were looking for a singer, and we got together with him, and he just had all the qualities I was looking for. The fans really loved him when we went out and did the Digital Dictator tour.
Yeah.
So many shows, and it really paved the way for this album to kind of have a really cohesive band feel. And it was great, actually, just to be able to do so many shows together and then have the guys, get the feel of the whole thing like that. But Nick, Nick is really, he started off as a guitar player. He's a very personable guy, and he's got a really wide dynamic to his voice. And it's a pretty tall order to be the singer of Vicious Rumors, because we require so many different things from you: low and heavy, high and clean, high and heavy, bluesy at sometimes. I mean, so we want so much out of the singer, and Nick can handle it, man.
You also had a couple of guests on this album?
Yeah, Cody Green, incredible guitar player up in the Seattle area. He actually filled in on bass for us. He's, I don't think he's ever played that much bass in his life. I mean, he's just helping us out, and we loved having him on the tour. And originally it was going to be 25 shows, and it turned into 108 shows over a year and a half instead of a month and a half. And he hung in there with us, did every show, and so we were just so appreciative of that. Kind of felt the whole time like, God, everyone that saw us on that tour, a lot of people had no idea, what an incredible guitar player he is. So we invited him to do a couple guest solos on Any Last Words and Long Way Home. And then, of course, when it came time to do the record, we got Greg Christian, a good friend of mine for many years, formerly of Testament, to come in and play the bass. And so that made it even make more sense to have Cody come in and do a couple of guest solos too. So those were our two guests on the album, and both did a fantastic job.
The Celebration Decay was put on the back burner for the 30th anniversary tour of Digital Dictator, as you mentioned. Do you have any fond memories of that particular tour? Because you started at 20 and then you ballooned to 108, so things must have been going great.
Yeah, I mean, there was just a lot of interest in it, and the agent was able to book, keep the bookings going. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, for Larry and I, it's such an honor just to be part of an album that's held in such high regard, and luckily we have a few albums like that. And the Digital Dictator, we've been asked to do an album show like that with Digital Dictator for years. People have been talking to us about it. So the timing was right. And I think it, just again, going back to that, listening to an album in its entirety, by playing that album, so many times from beginning to end, I think it kind of, it left an impression of what, good flow to an album feels like. And think it was very helpful to do something like that right before you went in and make a record.
So did you write the songs while on tour or just after the tour ended?
It was kind of happening since, I probably started recording riffs and stuff back in 2017.
Yeah.
And by the time we had finished the Digital Dictator tour, I had probably about over 100 pieces recorded, like, not full songs, but, intros, verses, chorus, 2 parts, half songs, full songs. Just had like a little bit of everything. And then our producer that we've worked with for years, Juan Arteaga, and I got together in November and started kind of sifting through everything. And Juan's kind of like the 6th Rolling Stone in the band, and he's just a fantastic producer. And when he jumps into a project, he's like, he doesn't just take it on, do his work, and go home. He takes it on like a member of the band, and he's a super talented guy. I love working with him.
In a career that spans over 30 years for yourself, what would you say was Vicious Rumor's greatest accomplishment?
Maybe keeping the band together for 41 years is a miracle. I don't know if it's the greatest accomplishment, but it's certainly a miracle, and or a definite sign of insanity. I'm not sure, one or the other.
No, I'd say that's good because, you got plenty of bands that started out when you did that aren't around today.
Oh, man, that's for sure. I tell you, man, we love the action, playing these festivals around the world, traveling, meeting people, and just having people, enjoy our music. And, man, there's nothing better than that. So we've just been, I consider myself to be very lucky person to have followed my dream all these years and been able to, play music and travel around the world. And, I just feel very thankful. Of
all the albums that you released 13 albums. Is there an album you wish you hadn't put out or that you would have done different?
Yeah, Sadistic Symphony was probably my most, if I had a black mark, maybe that would be it. For many reasons. I was just in a very transitional period in my life and in the band. And we had a lot of problems in the studio we worked with, and we tried a new guy, and it was a real struggle. So, there were still some good songs on the record, but if I had one black mark, maybe that's it. Overall, I'm very proud of everything Vicious Rumors has put out and released.
You guys started in the 80s rock scene, and that was pretty much known for its excess and debauchery. What's the craziest thing any member of Vicious Rumors had done to live up to the standard of that era?
We're not really like the thrashing, hotel room type of band or anything like that. We're probably a little too respectful for a heavy metal band, actually. Maybe I could get the guys to dirty it up a little bit. But we've had some incredible stuff. But, I remember in Tokyo, we played the second show in Tokyo and had this incredible night there. And then right after the show, we had to go to a recording studio because we made a live album. And it was our only chance to have any kind of say in it. So we went to a recording studio after the show. We hung out with some people, had a good time, went to the studio, worked on the record all night, got back to Bullet Train just in time to take a train to Osaka and go to Osaka and play the next show. And we had 60 fans waiting for us in the lobby. And and I thought, wow, this is incredible. I was so tired, but I was just I got to go down and say hello to these people. And so Mark McGee and I get in the elevator, and we're about to go down to the lobby, and all of a sudden the elevator door opens and Kurt Cobain walks in. And, and Nirvana was just blowing up at that time. This is 91. And then as soon as we got out of the elevator, a bunch of people, ran up to him, and I was like, oh, okay, so a lot of these people must be here for Nirvana. And then the crowd just completely broke away from him.
Yeah.
And came back to us. I was like, what's going on over there? And we thought he was in Vicious Rumors. And I was just dying laughing because I was like, whoa, okay, now I get this whole 15 minutes of fame thing. So for 15 minutes in Osaka, Japan, we were bigger than Nirvana.
That's great. So the silver ball that appears on all of your albums, is that an homage to Phantasm?
You know what? I would have to say that Steve Palutro is the guy who came up with that, the artist out of Las Vegas. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a descendant of the Phantasm ball. You got to be certain. You got to be around for a certain amount of time to know what that is, man.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk of that I didn't hit upon?
Basically, it's such a crazy time. I mean, like, we just made, like, I think one of our best records and had to cancel our U.S., Japanese, and European tours.
That sucks.
Which was pretty heartbreaking at this time. But we're really thankful that SPV still wanted to put the album out, because then at least we have the new album out. But we're really thankful to all the fans and press and everybody who's been supporting Vicious Rumors, this whole time, and especially this year. So if you're not spending money on concert tickets and festivals and stuff right now, I hope you support the band again and pick up this new album and live life to the fullest and enjoy heavy metal.
Yeah, you got some good packages with the album too, between CDs and T-shirts and record albums. You got some good packages that fans could purchase, I think. Yeah,
we sure appreciate it, man. And I want to thank you too, also, for your support and keeping the metal flowing, my friend.
No problem. Thanks for speaking with Metal Express Radio today.